What's up, guys? It's Sam Fowler. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Let's talk about love.
In your mind, you could be the heart that is true. I can't stand the tear in your face, and the look in your eye makes me feel like I can never face it on the inside. If you ever decided to give up, I don't know.
All right, well, first thing I need you guys to do is please hit that subscribe button, like, and comment. Those things really help me rank in YouTube's search engine. So if you appreciate the music I'm putting out, please support me in that way. Also, I do want to let you know, I did just release a surprise single. It's a surprise because nobody knew it was coming. Not even me, honestly. All right, like 2 days ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going to self-produce and record this single. I'm not even going to use my typical sound engineer. And I did, and it was kind of fun. And I put it on my Patreon account. I'm going to start putting some more behind-the-scenes kind of stuff on my Patreon account. I'll have a link below in the description for you to get over there. But doing lots of different kinds of things with that account, including releasing singles like this that I'm not releasing anywhere else currently. So if you want to hear that song, it's called Fierce Storm. Yeah, I would appreciate you going checking that out. So anyway, I want to talk about Make It Happen. That's the single I just dropped last week. I've gotten a pretty good response from it so far. Yeah, I really have. I've been encouraged by that. So thank you for those of you who have downloaded it and are listening to it on Spotify or wherever else you're listening to it. All those kinds of views and listens really do help. But I want to talk a little bit about the song. Typically when I write a song, I'll be honest with you, I start with a musical concept before a kind of idea concept, if you will. So before I know the storyline of the song, the lyrics of it, where it's going to go in that sense, I typically have a groove that I'm working with. That's just the way my brain works. I don't know. So I remember with this song, let me grab my guitar real quick. I wanted purposefully to do something a little bit untraditional. I was like, you know, I really want to get something just a little bit different as far as the beat goes, something a little offbeat, if you will. And that's where I started to come up with this. Well, I already had the chord structure, A minor, E minor, F, G, but I was like, oh, it needs to be funkier than that. And so I started playing around with things, and that's where I kind of got that, like that stutter note in there. You know, then of course I added the drums to match it. You know, the exact kind of ba, ba. So I don't know what to call that. I guess it's kind of like a stutter note. There's probably some better musical term for that. I haven't taken music theory in a while. I could look it up, but I didn't. So, but that was kind of where the music idea started, and I kind of got on that groove. And then as far as the idea behind the song, it's rooted, my dog's right here. I don't know if you guys can see him. Say hi, buddy. There's Peanut. He got shaved from the last time you saw him, and now Honey's going to come over too. But the idea behind the song was rooted, and a song kind of talks about it. You know, 6 months after my current wife, but then girlfriend, my girlfriend and I started dating, we had our first big argument, and everyone has that, you know. And I remember after that big argument, it was bad. we really fought. We really did fight. I remember calling my dad, and I was like, hey, like, this was weird. This kind of sucked. What do you think? Should we stay together or what? And I remember him telling me, like, yeah, people fight, man. Like, that's part of it. Like, go say you're sorry and move on, dude. And it was kind of this interesting moment where I got a glimpse into what a relationship is about in a fuller sense. Like, it's not just about those good times. Those good times are awesome, right? If you're fighting all the time, maybe something's wrong. But you're going to have disagreements. Those things are going to happen. And the question isn't whether they're going to happen, but what you're going to do with them. And that's really where this song was born out of, is like, you know, for me in that moment, I recognized that I had kind of had this ideal view of a relationship where nothing ever goes wrong. And I don't know if that's what I got from watching Disney movies or Hollywood, whatever it is, or it's just what I thought on my own. But it's not like that, right? And that's the chorus, right? They used to tell me loving was automatic. Like, it's easy, it just takes care of itself. But like my experience, maybe yours too, is you have to make it happen. Like, it's not automatic. You got to put work into it. You got to put effort into it. And so that's kind of where the theme of the song came from. And yeah, just kind of had fun with it from there. And, you know, if you want a fairy tale, first you got to be a failure, right? That's kind of a harsh line. But, you know, really I was feeling when I wrote this song, this idea of like the only way you get to a deeper point in a relationship, the only way to get to this place where it's sweet in a way other than kind of the honeymoon phase, sweet because you really know each other and accept each other no matter what kinds of stupid things you do or say. The only way you get there is if you pass through this place of difficulty. And in that place of difficulty, you're going to have some failures and she's going to have some failures. And that's just part of it. You've got to pass through like this passage of failure to get to the other side where you are so much more in love because you've got a greater foundation. And how great is it to be in a relationship where you know even if you do stupid stuff, that person's going to stick with you. You know, and if you want that kind of relationship, you have to be willing to offer that to the other person. And I'm not saying to blow it out of proportion. Of course, you know, you don't want someone taking advantage of you in a sense. But we got to be able to hang with each other even when we're jerks sometimes. So that's my philosophy of relationships. And so anyway, you got to make it happen. You got to make it happen. And when you do, there's this depth, there's this connection that begins to crop up and grow because you've stuck with it for so long. And so that's the idea behind the song. Love is something you have to make happen. It starts feeling automatic, but really when you get into it, the greatest kind of love is something that you've really got to put work into. And maybe that's not a message we're taught often enough, honestly. I don't know. I certainly don't hear that message as much on TV and in TV shows as maybe should be communicated. So something to think about. Anyway, if you got other comments about that song, things you liked about it, things you didn't, let me know. I'll put a link to that song at the end of this video. That's a little bit of the story behind it. I think I'm going to put, let's see. Yeah, I will. I'm going to put another video out about the song actually on my Patreon account, talking about how the song almost didn't get written because of some extreme difficulties I was having in the studio with this song. So it's not what you think. So anyway, if you want to hear more about that, go over to my Patreon account. I'll tell you a little bit more. It's actually a pretty interesting story. But with that being said, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope everyone's staying safe out there with all the craziness going on. Definitely stay safe. But write your story, own your journey. I'm going to see you guys next time.